Welcome everyone to another video, and in this video we are going to be looking at some Boulder Cup battles that I did. This is the team that I put together. Skarmory, Swampert with Mudshot, Hydro Cannon, and Earthquake. Bastiodon. I prefer Bastiodon because it has like a slightly more favorable matchup against like some of the weird stuff in the meta. As opposed to Probopass, but you know, I might consider running Probopass. Probopass is good as well. Gallade, Jirachi, and then Medicham. And you'll see that the two lines I ran include the double fighter line, which is Medicham, Skarmory, and then Gallade. And the second line I ran was Swampert, Skarmory, Bastiodon. Like Skarmory, it's unavoidable. It's so good in the meta. Has like really strong matchups against a ton of Pokemon, and is certainly one of the Pokemon that can check Medicham, especially when shields are down. So I'm gonna just put together the teams and lines here, and let's see how we do. And Gallade, there you go. And then I'm just gonna set up the other team. Boulder is interesting. I do want to put together a line with Jirachi. I just didn't have enough time before starting to think about it, so I'm not sure what the heck am I doing there. But and you'll see how crazy Swampert is. I like Gallade a lot in this meta as well. Gallade with Confusion as opposed to Charm, and you'll see I have some like lucky plays here, but I do think these are pretty strong lines in early Cup meta. Torterra is like a little bit of a problem for my team, but nothing like overly crazy. So we're starting off with the Medicham Mirror. It's a shiny here, and actually don't think it's actually a maxed out shiny. As you can tell by the CP, it's like 100 below, over 100 below max. And then you'll see here, I'm like just terrible at this fighting one. I don't know why. I need to get better. This will just come with practice. So, but definitely it's going to be important for me to try to warm up before tournament, just so I know how to do it. But you'll see I miss a lot of the fighting ones in the flying as well. So a little bit of an issue here. And it looks like I do a little bit better job there. I do get the excellent. I don't know if I hit all the bubbles, but here comes another power-up punch. And really, it's important for me to win the lead in this scenario. As you can see, the level difference is coming through. And I do a better job there, but later on I miss a couple, so. And we lag a little bit, but it's totally fine. I do want to keep my Medicham alive, so I do shield. I would have survived it still, but this Medichamp's pretty boosted. I'm gonna get some switch advantage. I probably should have went for Ice Punch. Definitely would have did more damage. But yeah, but there's a chance I probably couldn't get to it. So here I switch into Skarmory, and he's loading up some energy. I'm waiting for it to see what comes out, and I switch over to Gallade. So either I need to land this close combat one way or another, and you know, at this point in time it's like a little bit of luck in terms of me actually landing. So I have to like outguess my opponent. I could fake with like Leaf Blade, but I decide to go close combat, expecting that they're thinking I'm gonna bait with Leaf Blade. So, and it was actually a good thing I was able to connect. And then at this point in time, I'm just trying to put as much pressure on this Skarmory as possible. There's a chance that I could have farmed, but there's also a small chance I could have got to close combat, but even like landing the leaf blade would have been like a huge. You see, I was so terrible at this one. I think I missed 2 there. And at this point in time, I have a pretty big advantage because it's gonna take like three sky attacks or like 2.5 flash cannons to actually take me out. So flash cannon comes out, and then here at this point in time, I'm like, okay, let's not mess around. Let's just hit this flash cannon. Plus, flash cannon's easier to do than flying. So I'm able to get them all, thankfully, and we take match number 1. So, winning the mirror was important there. The mirror with Medichamp was, yeah, that's what it is. And then I switched over to the second team. Not in love with Boulder. It's very Skarmory centric, and then anti-Skarmory centric, and then Medichamp. It's like essentially the meta, and it's not that much different than what's happened in first time Boulder's around. Maybe Skarmory is a little bit more dominant. See here what happens, what he leads with Quagsire. So this should be a favorable matchup for me because I am going to get to Hydro Cannon. I do have to worry about the Earthquake. So there's the 5 mud shots. I thought it was Earthquake, which is likely what he's trying to bait me with, but it ends up being Sludge Bomb. So I load up a little bit of additional energy. Hoping to land this. And at this point in time, I don't think Earthquake would KO me, but I also don't think he had enough energy to get to Earthquake, and ended up being Stone Edge. So I'm like, okay, great, Stone Edge, Sludge Bomb. It's gonna load up a little bit before firing off the Hydro Cannon, which just does like a ridiculous amount of damage. And then you'll see how much damage it does to Medichamp, but actually I think he ends up shielding. And then here I switch out. Could have been bad for me. And then I'm just waiting to see if he's gonna switch. I end up like eating the power punch, but I don't want my sky attack to go into like a Bastiodon, for example, and then waste all that energy. So it's still okay. I definitely could have hit the sky attack before the power up punch. Take out the. He ends up having Skarmory in the back. So he could have mirrored with Skarmory, which would have put me in a pretty particular situation. I do have the shield advantage. I would have the energy advantage, so I'd probably play it out to try to get it so I have a Sky Attack loaded against the Skarmory. Like after taking out the Skarmory, ready for the Medichamp. And then here I'm just trying to demonstrate how much damage Hydro Cannon does. And then here we CNP tie. And you'll see just how ridiculous Hydro Cannon. I don't know how you would possibly bait Earthquake in And then here I decide to switch, and it's a wrap in this first match. So GG. I'm gonna try to fast forward to the second match. So we're going against House Stark 93, one of the top players in the world, probably top 30 in Self Arena. The Self website is partially down right now, so I can't check it, but certainly an extremely competent player. Correctly identifies that Torterra is really strong against my team. But the thing with Torterra is that if you just go straight Ice Punch, you can also bait if you want to do a little bit more damage. But if you go straight Ice Punch, you can burn both shields and then come into Skarmory and then like eat whatever the charge move. He decides not to shield, thinking that I'm gonna bait with Power Up Punch. And so it obviously puts me at a huge advantage. Comes with Skarmory. Oh man, I do a terrible job. Awful job. But that's okay. It's quite alright. So I really want to hit this last second power up punch, and I'm able to. And I really need to get all these bubbles. And I think I get all of them, but maybe one. And then here, the Skarmory's at super low health. So I'm gonna just let this Sky Attack go through, or Flash Cannon, whatever it is. And at this point in time, I do want to either burn the shield, because this Skarmory has like energy loaded. So either burn the shield or take it out. And then at this point in time, he has a Medicham, and I have a Gallade in the back. I could have switched out right away. Gallade can beat Medicham with 2 shields. But at this point in time, all I'm focusing on is doing as much damage as possible with Skarmory and Gallade. And at this point in time, I actually recognize that Gallade can just finish off Medicham with confusions. I don't even have to use the charge moves. And I'm basically just like after this confusion gets applied, just like one more after that. And GG's right there. So yeah, when it gets down to Medicham's really good with shields. So you just have to be really careful that they're not just gonna purely fade you down with moves that do either super effective damage with Air Slash, or moves that like hit really hard from like a high attack Pokemon like Gallade. So let's see what he leads with. Ba, 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 ba. So I'll be seeing House Stark, Valor Ash, a few other top players in the Pittsburgh tournament. So if you're around in the area, want to participate, which I encourage you to do, or you just want to say hi, say hello, definitely check out my Twitter on information around that. So here it's a very favorable matchup for me. Swampert is like not as like dominating a matchup against Bastiodon as some other Pokemon, so he takes a little while to switch. And then here I'm gonna hit the Hydro Cannon. Just because I want to do a lot of damage to this Skarmory. I could have switched out right away, and I want to switch into Bastiodon. Just because it probably actually would have been better off if he didn't shield. And then here, you know, I'm still like learning this matchup, learning the meta. I make a mistake, arguably a mistake. I make a mistake. I hit it with Flamethrower right before it hits me with Flash Cannon, and likely has Medicham. Like you can always count on basically Medicham, and he hits with Flash Cannon. It's actually really good here, so I'm not going to shield. So it actually probably worked out for the better. I probably could have did a little bit. If he would have Flash Cannon, actually would have been much better. So my goal is to hit like one charge move against this Medicham, do some damage. And I debate switching out to Swampert and then I just absorb it, and then I basically just like wait for the expected switch. I think a really important thing, which Stark pointed out, is that the charge moves last longer, and because the charge moves last longer, the switch window is going to come up more often in matches. And at this point in time, and I don't know if I would actually survive this one, so I decide to go for the Sky Attack. And I get the shield, which is great. He switches out. And then at this point in time, he has no shield, so I'm just going to load to 100 energy. And I decide not to shield, but you'll see how much squishier Marsh Stomp is compared to Wishcash or Quagsire, or yeah, those two. And then probably even Marsh Stomp, just because like the Stone Edge actually did some damage. Like, and then here I hit the Hydro Cannon, and it's GG's at this point in time. So with Torterra, to be honest, like the disadvantage of not shielding is that you're gonna lose that matchup and not take out the Pokemon that you want to take out. The advantage of shielding, even if they try to do Power Punch, is that if it was Ice Punch, then obviously you'd still KO it. If you call the bluff and they don't hit you with Power Punch. And then here I actually messaged on Twitter, not a spoofer, actually messaged me asking, saying that he was sending, but obviously I was in some battles, so I told him I would send to him next, and then I sent to Blue Card Crabs, or Blue Crab Cars. I really should know, sorry. One of my Patreon members, so really appreciate your support. All the support is super helpful. I'm putting a ton of time and effort into helping people as much as possible. So any support is great, whether that's subscribing to the channel, give me thumbs up, sharing these videos, watching, or supporting me on Patreon or through YouTube channel membership. Those are all really important for me to allow me to put as much time and effort as I can into this. So I appreciate everyone's support where I can. It allows you to do things like go to Pittsburgh and embrace the community there, and put some interesting videos early on in the meta. So just waiting. Not a Spooper is always a tough competitor. Really great trainer. Believe out of the Ohio area. When I first started doing PvP, I had to click no thanks here. So here this matchup's interesting. I think Medicham wins the 2 shield matchup. Counters and Power Punch are neutral. This Confusion obviously does a lot of damage, has stab, and then here I don't get the Excellent, so not good for me. But Jirachi has like the same stats as Mew and a Celebi, which means it's not very tanky. But Doom Desire does a lot of damage and gets to it fairly quickly. So here I gotta do a little bit better job. And then here I'm gonna shield one more time. Plus, like, most of the people's Jirachis are pretty poor PvP IVs. So you're going against like a very like his is 1463, like a very non-optimized, non-bulky Jirachi. And then here, oh, he does a beautiful switch here. This is a really nice switch. Like Ice Punch is good too. It's going to do a lot of damage, but boosting up to the Power Up Punch would have been great. Like landing 2 Power Up Punches, ooh, that would have been deadly. So at this point in time, I want to come in with Skarmory, and I want to load up some energy, or potentially burn the shield. And I know he's switch locked at this point in time. If he actually would have came Skarmory first, like, I don't think it would have made a difference. It would allowed me to get like maybe one more counter off because of the switch time. Oh man, this flying one I'm so bad at. It hit it there, but... And then I want to come into Gallade and just do as much damage as I can. And then, because he's already burnt the shield, I'm able to get in. I'm not sure if he had a Sky Attack loaded. And then we're going Torterra versus Gallade. And these confusions are still doing a ton of damage. I just need to land this Solar Beam. Earthquake is probably the better move. And Earthquake, admittedly, probably would KO me at this range. But Torterra, it takes so long for Torterra to get to Earthquake. Let's see here. Torterra, Earthquake on Skarmory. Would do 43 damage, which is about a third. I think I had a little bit more than a third. I think probably had like 40% health left. So pretty unlikely. Was probably on that Gallade. It probably did like maybe it takes what? How much? 4 energy each, so it takes like 17 Razor Leafs. Probably did like 10 versus my Gallade or something like that. Maybe a little less. I think I got like 3 confusions off. So anyway, so we got the second match, Swampert versus Skarmory. So people are telling me that piggybacking doesn't work anymore. So I think people are still trying to piggyback me here. So man, you see this Hydro Cannon just hurts so much. Am I able to land the second Hydro Cannon? And then I'm going to burn the shield. I really should check how much, whether or not Swampert can tank a Sky Attack. So it does 91 damage, which does 3/4 of 2/3 of the damage. And it's like pretty unlikely I would get to another Hydro Cannon. So I do elect to shield. And in this matchup, I win the matchup versus Skarmory, but I decide to switch out to preserve my my Swampert. And then at this point in time, I do want to put as much damage into this Jirachi as I can. Unfortunately, don't get the excellent, which is not good. This is actually a pretty even matchup. Technically, Skarmory is a little bit better off in this situation, but obviously my Skarmory is like damaged at this point in time. So I do want to get this Sky Attack off. I probably debatably could have went Flash Cannon. And no, actually no, I couldn't. So Sky Attack was the right move. Doom's Desire. And then at this point in time, I do come with Bastiodon because I do want to load up with some energy. Comes out Medicham. And then at this point in time, I thought he was going to switch. honestly, if he would have switched, that probably would have been the better move. Because if he would have switched, yeah, I would have took out his Skarmory right away. But maybe he was thinking he could like power up punch me. And then, so here he does switch after this. So here I actually elect not to KO, and I actually stopped doing damage. I actually elect not to KO the Marsh Stomp, because I realize if I KO this, then he's going to farm me, and then I have no chance with Bastiodon. So what I'm going to do here instead with Bastiodon is I'm going to farm this Skarmory. It actually might not have made a difference. Maybe. So here I elect a Flamethrower, and then I'm like, okay, hopefully this Flamethrower does enough damage. I missed one bubble there, which maybe would have cost me the match. So he has not done this is his second power up punch. It's going to be super close. So arguably he would have hit me with more counters that would have did more damage, but I also would have did more damage versus with mud shots, but mud shots wouldn't have done that much damage. So it's critical for me there to identify I don't want to kill the Skarmory. It's very debatable. I don't think I would have. I think I just hit Earthquake, which means that I was at 65 energy, at least 65 energy. Arguably, maybe like a one, or I could have hit one more, and then maybe been one mud shot away from another Hydro Cannon, then that would have won me in the match. But I was, it's like tough in real time to identify it. So if you guys want to look back at the match and see if it was possible, then definitely let me know. It's gonna forward this along a little bit because I was waiting. Oh no, not that far. Okay. Anyway, so debatable. I hit what I do. I did a Hydro Cannon against the Medicham, and then so Medicham Mirror, both maxed out. His is 100% IV, mine's 98, but doesn't make a difference in this mirror match. Okay, I do such a terrible job. Oh man, I gotta practice that. So you'll see he tried to piggyback, but it wasn't successful. So I prefer that little bit extra counter damage. And CMP tie. End up getting the excellent. Man, these, like, your ability to hit the circles could be the difference in the mirror match. I decide to shield. And then we CMP tie. And able to land the excellent. Not that it makes a difference. And then somehow I end up actually KOing. That's like just doing the charge moves a little bit more efficiently. And then here I should have went for Ice Punch. I don't know why. It's not like he would come in with Bastiodon or something. It still does a lot of damage, but like triple boosted Ice Punch would have did like a ton of damage. So he switches out into Skarmory. And then at this point in time, he's going to try to piggyback. And then some questionable decisions by me here. It's like super close. all these were like really tough matches. It would definitely be have a big sigh of relief after. Oh man, I let one away, but I must let two away. And then I want to just obviously build up some energy. So it's debatable. I could shield, farm down this Skarmory, have a Leaf Blade ready, but I decide to go this way. It's very questionable. I definitely could have taken it out with Confusions. And he's able to survive with a little bit of health, and I have no choice but shield. And then I know this like basically this Gallade could take me out with a Leaf Blade, probably. So this first one's not so important because like I basically don't even need to actually swipe the circles. So the second one, again, this is actually not that important either, because I could like only hit half the circles in. Oh man, I missed two again. I gotta get better at it. That's all. It just takes practice. It certainly mattered in the Medicham mirror match. And you'll see that these matches are like slightly longer with those like additional 2 seconds on each charge move. It definitely results in the matches being a little longer. Okay, so now we go into this second match. And I really want to protect my Swampert. Swampert just does so much damage. Even, for example, Torterra. A Hydro Cannon on Torterra still does like 2/3 of its health, so it's definitely not pleasant. It's okay. I just want to hit it as soon as possible. And this, it doesn't really matter because it's going to result. I guess it does matter if we end up two shielding. I'm not sure what he's like actually building up to, because Hydro Cannon is definitely the more energy efficient move compared to Earthquake. So there's no need to actually try to bait. And I expect the shield to come up. I'm going to shield. And then expect a shield to come up. Yes. It is a pretty clever maneuver. And it would have worked if we were like mirror matching. Or maybe it was actually this match. No, I just ended up winning that matchup. It's like really just CMP. And then I come out here. Again, I'm just waiting to see if this Medichamp's going to switch out. And it does. And I don't want to waste my energy, so I switch out to Bastiodon. And then really my goal is to, I can't let this, it's actually like an interesting match. Like in theory, the Skarmory can actually elect to do almost no damage to the Bastiodon and just like keep, they can both just wear each other down with fast moves, and then just save all the potential damage, because Medichamp can definitely survive. This Medichamp's already hurt, but this Medichamp can definitely survive 2 flamethrowers. Like Flamethrower only does 36 damage. Machamp has 134 health. So here I tried to do actually like no damage. It doesn't really matter. It's gonna KO it anyway. So, and then here it doesn't matter because I have a Sky Tech ready and loaded, and actually don't KO this Medicham. So in theory, when it's Skarmory Bastiodon, you could actually choose not to do the charge move with Skarmory. Let your Medicham get hit by 2. Because how much would it actually do if it just straight counter? The thing is that you might actually do one more. Oh no, this match actually got cut off because the recording was too long. Anyways, we have a very good match here as well. But this match is going to get cut off because I can only save like 3.5 gigs worth of data or something like that on my recording. But what you could do, elect to do, is actually do almost no damage. The Medicham will get to 100 energy and then basically kind of unload two power-ups. So like, let's say, okay, let's take a look at this. So if what am I doing here? So actually no, let's put a near max IV. So 38 damage. So it does say it does 2 flamethrowers. So let's put the energy at 100 for Bastiodon. And if you only counter damage, at least Medicham at 18 health. So maybe you want to do a little bit of damage to Bastiodon. Anyway, and like at least at let's put it at, it starts at 134. Let's put it at 100 HP. Medicham gets to 91 energy, and then 91 energy at 26 health. Let's put this 26 health, 91. It probably doesn't beat Skarmory, but it's an interesting experiment. Oh, why doesn't it actually do? Oh, because I didn't put any charge moves there. Okay. I guess it only takes out half of Skarmory. So there's probably some middle ground there where you still take out the Bastiodon. If it gets 100 energy, that just kind of puts you in a tricky situation. But if the Skarmory is only at less than half health, it's potentially a strategy that you want to employ. It's also the case that, anyways, I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyways, I'll break down the math on some potential strategies afterwards. But if you enjoyed this video, you want to let me know in the comment section below what cup I should cover next, and I'll see everyone in the next video.